Thank you for having me at this conference, Geir Ugland Jacobsen. You're the party leader for Norway Democrats. You're not in the establishment yet, but you're hoping to get into parliament this fall in the Norwegian election. You've done a great thing here. You put on a remigration summit and you invited Alternative for Deutschland, you invited Swedish politicians, English politicians, people from Ireland and from other countries in Europe that has the exact same challenges as Norway have. Because we see this with the supranational organizations imposing directives on the same directives on all the nations creates a resistance. And so a lot of these parties and people that have been invited here today, they have sort of the same ideas as your party does. So how do you cooperate with politicians in other nations?
We have established a network since we relaunched Demokratene, now named Norgesdemokratene, almost 5 years ago. And I have to say before I proceed that I'm very pleased to have you here, Rebecca. I appreciate your work too. And I'm glad you are asking me questions about we will try to pump up the cooperation with other parties even further. We see that we have mutual challenges, mainly due to the globalization politics. That means that the local democracy, the national democracy, is more or less dysfunctional. There are some ideas about how the world should be that have been born in organizations that we call supranational. That is not interested in maintaining sovereign nations. And they also have a very awkward relation to human values. It's more like they see humans like commodities. In order to get control and maybe increase their own power and material standard, I don't know. I can't really find myself in their structure of thoughts. It's very strange. But we have to relate to it anyway, because it is a threat to us and to other sovereign nations and populations. That's a very brief summary of how we perceive the World Economic Forum now. And the new Marxism, almost fascism, I say, because it's a combination of politics and business. That is, in a way, they corrupt each other and become something that's not compatible to democracy.
So to reinstate democracy in the national state across the European Union, across the UK, looking at, if you look at the UK, for instance, look at Keir Starmer and what he has done to the United Kingdom. Yep. And then you look at our Prime Minister, which is also a Labour Prime Minister. Pretty much, I would say, Keir Starmer's evil twin. I'm going there. In terms of characteristics, do you find when you talk to representatives from parties in the UK that you can find solutions to the problems because we're so tight-knitted in the problems that we have? Looking at Jonas Gahr Støre, looking at Keir Starmer, they're pretty much the same person, if you ask me. So do you see that when you talk to them, that there's a good foundation for strategizing on how to change the political spectrum within each nation?
I think we are about to strip down the globalist club now ruling Europe, more or less, they all act very consistent, like serving an agenda which definitely not is serving their people. And it doesn't seem to bother them very much. But we, the people, have to give sound that this is not okay. We see that decisions are made without any consideration for the country and the population. They are made in the name of what they call international obligations or cooperation. That's not what I call positive cooperation, what they are into. On the contrary, it's something very different from what we now do in these national conservative parties around in Europe. We have a positive cooperation because it's mutually it makes mutual advantages for us. It's no downside.
So in the forefront of that, mass migration obviously is the biggest political cause at this point in time, right? So talking about remigration, or as several people have said, decolonization of Europe, of our nations, how, there's been a difference in opinions about how to do that and if the European Union would be beneficial or not beneficial in terms of dealing with the remigration. And I know that the Norway Democrats, they want to abolish the EAA agreement that Norway has with the European Union. Do you think there's a chance in staying in that agreement and still being able to influence without being a member the European Union and push the remigration? Because you have politicians from eastern blocks of Europe pushing in that direction.
I think we have to operate outside the EU system at all, in whole. I think the EU is too corrupted to have any hope on sales.
It just needs to be abolished.
Yeah, it needs to be abolished. And we need to get out of the AA, did you say?
EAA.
EAA, yeah, EAA
I think that
agreement.
EEA or EAA, yeah.
It's not an agreement that can be renegotiated. It has to be terminated. That's how it is. That's how it's functions. So we have to just to get out of it and play the cards in a strictly other way than now. So I think we agree on that. That we can't rely on the EU. We can't rely on the UN either, because it's quite easy to see that there is an agenda to flood Europe with third world migrants.
Well, they're open about it.
Yeah, they're open about it, and we also have this UN Pact of Immigration, which has been signed in a very doubtful way, or processed in a very doubtful way in Norway, and maybe also in other countries. So it was quite surprising when it turned up, and then it was just a couple of weeks to sign.
It was a volunteer agreement. It wasn't binding by any cause, right?
No, but
then it became binding.
Yes, but some of us we can read English.
Of course.
Yeah, and it says committed to everywhere. So why can they say? How can they say that it's not
committed?
It's not binding.
Yeah.
So the UN Immigration Pact of Immigration, is a clear sign, and it's also supported by the EU, or what they intend to do. It's as you say, it's very out in the open. This pact is designed to facilitate migration. They will not give in on that, I think, at all. We just have to take control without that concession, I think, from the EU and from the UN. So Norgesdemokratene, we want to get out of the EU system totally. We see no point being a member of anything there. We can trade without this agreement. We have the trade agreement. The old trade agreement is still in the bottom of this, and if we just cancel the EU agreement, then we will fall back on the first trade agreement.
You've kind of shown that there's the will to cooperate and negotiate with other nations is very much present still, even though maybe the EU is not the right forum to do that. By inviting other politicians from other nations, you still want that international cooperation with, and you see this, well, this is how I interpret it. We see this with mass migration or mass remigration, yes. I rather say. Yes. So the will to cooperate across borders is very much present still. Do I understand that correctly?
Absolutely. It's a positive kind of cooperation, which is mutual beneficiary and beneficial, and we will also try to get away from any relation to World Economic Forum too, and we will cancel all these agreements that are connected to these organizations, like the Paris Agreement. It's just crazy. Why are we there? Because we are committed to close down the country, more or less, through incompetent governments, mainly both the government of today and the government before, because they established the Paris Agreement. And there are also other agreements that we can do without. So we will re-establish the sovereign nation of Norway, and we will play our cards wisely. We have resources to be a national success greater than Switzerland, if we do things right. We will copy some from Switzerland, like the direct democracy, making the citizens decide. They are the owners of the country. It's not the government that owns the country. It's the people, yes. And the government works for the people. They should. But even at that level, now government and what we call Stortinget, the parliament, they are also living their own life quite a distance from the people. So we have to reduce that distance a lot, and we also have to redefine the roles, because it's the people that should decide, and we want yearly or half-yearly what do you call it, elections, or when we or polls that
evaluations,
yeah, like Switzerland. In Switzerland, where the people tell the government what to do in specific
cases. Yeah,
topics.
okay, I see.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, and I wish you the best of luck coming up September 2025. And thank you for taking the time out to talk with me here in both Norwegian and English. And if there's any questions out there from you guys, you can go to their Twitter account and just fire away. Thank you, Guide.
Thank you, Rebecca.